Well, good morning, everyone. Thomas Montgomery. We get together most weekday mornings at 8 o'clock Central to talk about strategies, tips, techniques, share success stories, all based around helping small business owners access capital. So I have shared here on my screen, you should see our chapmanloanprogram.org website. So this is the resource page that we were asked to create when we had received the grant back last year in the fourth quarter. If you've not had an opportunity to come to chapmanloanprogram.org, I encourage you to do so. And the reason for that is we have a lot of good information on the page that describes kind of in bullets what we do, the process to participate, which is the 2 steps, a number of resources for potential participants, and a number of resources for current and prospective distribution partners. Our topic today is really a very basic one. It's what is the secret? What is the hack? What is the trick? What does it take to get business funding? Because while we can certainly spend time and energy talking about the process of what we do, and if you're not familiar with the process and the 4 phases, this embedded video does a really good job of showing and telling you how the process works. But the point is, most small business owners want money. They want the end result. And what you and I have is the formula to accomplish that. Let's go ahead and pull up the video. We'll mute it and let's make it full size and we'll pause it. So it's a little granular. But this is it's granular when we look at it here. Each of you should have an editable version of this that you can put your own information on if you're one of our distribution partners. But so what is it that clients want? Clients want this stack of money. And what is it that it takes to get that? It takes having a fundable business. Let's say that you and I want to make lasagna tonight. And if we have a recipe, then we can follow that recipe. And if we follow that recipe, we're going to have lasagna. Well, you and I happen to have the recipe for a fundable business. So it's not a mystery. So some people think, oh, it's too good to be true. It can't be true. Everybody can't go get a big pile of money. Well, that's like saying, no, you can't have lasagna. If you have the ingredients and the recipe, you will have lasagna. You and I have the formula and the ingredients to get the pile of money, to get the funding. Now, how big of a pile of money depends on what the client needs. It's like, again, the lasagna recipe. Are you and I, is it just the two of us and we're going to make lasagna for two? Well, then the ingredients we need are smaller. But let's say, no, we're going to have a group of people. We're going to have a family reunion. We're going to have 18 people over. Well, the recipe's the same, but the ingredients, we're going to need more pasta. We're going to need more cheese. We're going to need more sauce. It's the same concept. So as soon as you can get your head around, number one, you and I can help any client get a big pile of money to get funding to start or grow a business without risk. Absolutely. We can make lasagna. You and I can make lasagna. Why? Because we know the ingredients, we have the ingredients, and we know the recipe. So this is the recipe. So when we were promoting today's conversation, our Zoom today, we positioned it a little bit differently. So what is the hack? What's the secret to getting funding? It's to have the ingredients and it's to have the recipe. What's the hack to make lasagna? Well, there's none, right? You have the ingredients and you have the recipe. If you'll get your head around that very simple concept and explain it to people that way, you will enroll a lot of people. We have a large number of distribution partners, and many of them now are doing quite well. The typical distribution partner is enrolling a client a day, about 30 a month. So nothing crazy, but a good steady pace. Now, that doesn't mean every day there's an enrollment, but on average. Some of you are doing a little better than that. Some of you are doing a little worse than that. And so this discussion today is incredibly important. So again, let's hit the highlights. What is it that clients want? Frankly, they don't care about all of this. What do they care about? They want the pile of money. They want money. They want money to start or grow a business. That's what they want. They want money. Well, how do you get that money? You follow the formula for funding, which is here. And again, I can shrink this down so we can go back over to our main page. So if you're not familiar with the formula for funding, we make it available. I was having a discussion with one of you this morning, one of our new branch offices, and we use this example. So you and I have the recipe. We know what it takes. And then, of course, the variable would be the amount of ingredients based upon how much funding that we want and we would need. With that being said, we don't keep it a secret. It's not like, oh, give us some money and then we'll tell you what the recipe is for our lasagna. No, we tell the world, right? There's no passwords. So from a prospective client participant, in fact, we require them. We require them to go through step one before they can even enroll. Because once a client understands what we do and how it works, then we're on the same page. So what do we know? Most clients don't care about the recipe and they don't want to talk about the recipe. All they want is the pile of money. But can you just get the pile of money? No, that's too good to be true. That's the scam. If you think, oh, this is a scam, the only thing that would be a scam is someone that thinks, oh, no, I don't need to have the recipe and the ingredients to make the lasagna. I don't need that. I just want lasagna to magically appear. I just want money to magically appear. That's too good to be true. That's not real. That's not the way the economic system works. However, it's not a problem because you and I have what? We have the recipe and we have the formula. All right, so it looks like Jeanette's wanting us to kind of go through the recipe a bit. So let's do that for a minute. There's a more detailed, longer discussion there on the website. So to have a fundable business, it doesn't matter how long the business has been open. It doesn't matter about the credit score of the owner or the owners of the business. There's lots of things that don't matter that people get distracted with. So it's like, again, let's keep using this lasagna analogy. Oh, I don't have any Chex Mix. If you've heard of that, that's a cereal, right? Or we'll do something easier. I don't have any Fruit Loops, another popular cereal. I don't have any Fruit Loops. Well, you don't need Fruit Loops to have a fundable business. We don't need Fruit Loops for lasagna. So what we do need are three essential elements, and we've broken it down into, frankly, 4 phases. So phase 1 is when the client enrolls. The first thing that we want to do for every client when they enroll is get them money in their pocket now, get them immediate funding offers. So we call that first tranche. Also, we make sure that they have a credible address, make sure they have a good entity with filed with Secretary of State, EIN bank account also. If they don't have those things, we provide those things, as you can see, for free. So creating the foundation is step 1, the first part of the recipe. Then what do? We need to make sure that the business shows that it's credit worthy, that it pays its bills, that it has a strong Dun & Bradstreet report. Well, how do we do that? Well, is it too good to be true? No, it's like we're making the sauce now. So here's the pasta that we need for the lasagna, kind of the foundation. Now here we're making the sauce. So how do we create a fundable business? Well, we start by making sure that we have a DUNS number, and then we strengthen the Dun & Bradstreet profile to make sure it's fully populated. And then we add trade lines, real trade lines, whether it be company automobiles, company credit cards, or so forth. So clients, as they're going through this, even though I know all they care about is this, they want the hack. They want the secret to get this. Well, the hack or the secret to get this is to have the recipe and the ingredients. But the great news is that's what you and I provide them. So then once we have the foundation, we build up the business credit worthiness. Then the last ingredient we need for our lasagna would be to have strong financials. Some people say, well, it's a new business. They can't have strong financials. That's crazy talk. And that's exactly what's going to keep them from getting the funding. So instead, we're going to make sure that they have strong financials, such as a balance sheet. And in fact, what we provide for free is a $10,000 transfer, an asset transfer. It's referred to as quick cash over here. But the bottom line is, and this is just a summary, again, if we want to get back to our website where you can see the full viewing, you and I have the recipe to help any business become fundable. 100% guaranteed. Now, how much do we need of the different ingredients? Depends upon how much lasagna they want, right? So how much funding do they want? Oh, I want $1 million. Well, great. Then our formula still works, but we'll need more ingredients. No, I just need 100,000. Well, great. The formula still works. We'll need less ingredients. It just makes sense. It's too good to be true otherwise. But you and I are in a remarkable position. There are a lot of small business owners that want and need funding, and you and I literally have the formula for them to follow, and it works 100% of the time. So let's go ahead and get to the questions, comments, concerns that each of you have. All right, so Daryl's asking about how to become a distribution partner. So over time, so this has kind of evolved. We didn't get this grant until Q4, fourth quarter of last year. So everything kind of changed for us in how we go out to the marketplace fourth quarter of last year once we received this grant. So this is the focus of what we do. As far as being a distribution partner, which is Daryl's question, that has evolved a little bit, but now it's simple. There used to be all these different labels, this and that, and it got confusing. So now it's real simple, real simple. We have distribution partners. That's kind of a general term. We have the concept called the Opportunity Fund. The reason that it's called the Opportunity Fund is because, going back to the formula, let's go back to our recipe. Let's bring this recipe back up. Or I guess I started it again, which I didn't mean to do. So I'll get through the ad, sorry. So pause it. So the Opportunity Fund is adding the cheese, I guess. So let's say that a client enrolls, but they lack liquidity. Well, we can get them liquidity, working capital through first tranche, but also they can use the Opportunity Fund to be able to add daily deposits into their business bank account. So for those of you like Katori and Daryl and others that are confused about different labels, none of that matters. All of it's been consolidated into one roll now, one roll. And so that's referred to as the Opportunity Fund, where we do financial literacy education, but it's right here. So if you've not enrolled, this is where you would do it if you want to do so. Once you've done so, then you're a distribution partner. Then we train you, we support you. And again, as I mentioned earlier, well, the bottom link here is an economic model that shows how you make money. Of course, it's described here in writing. Here it's described visually, and I can pull it up, I guess, if you want. So this is where we did a training, and it breaks down how you're paid for each client. You're paid 4 times. So there's the immediate income as well as the ongoing passive income. But regardless, if you want to be a distribution partner, it's here. There's not different labels. Don't get caught up in maybe what we did 5 years ago versus 7 years ago. This is it. Once you're a distribution partner, then we train you, we support you, and you should be making $100,000 a month. this is training on the 4 phases. So this here is the 4-phase training, which is, sorry, here. When we talk about it here, we're talking about it kind of from the client's perspective. So literally, you could take this YouTube, you can hit share, right? Is that right? Yeah, you could click share and then copy and paste this, copy link address, and you could technically share this with your prospects. So like Latoya is on, she's one of our newest branch offices. She signed up yesterday. So if you're a new branch office, I would be using this 4-phase document to describe it. But if you're just not quite confident enough yet to describe it, then you could use this video and just play it for your prospects. My point is down here, we also have the 4-phase, but this recording is teaching you how to use it, where this one is ready to use for clients. So here is the link to become a distribution partner. Here is the link to describe how to use the 4-phase document as a distribution partner. Here is understanding the sales process. And so there's really 3 steps. And I know we don't want to say that we're salespeople, that we don't feel comfortable with that. We're above that. But it doesn't matter what type of organization you're in. You have to have sales or conversions to exist, including your branch. So it really breaks down into 3 steps. There's get a lead generation, number 1. Number 2, educate, build financial literacy, help them understand what we do. And then number 3 is convert or enroll them. If you do that, you make money and they get help. So that process is described on this link here. And then I just shared with you the economic model that shows how you get paid and when you get paid. So, for instance, Latoya is awesome. She's a new branch, but frankly, she hadn't watched these. So that was her first step to do today, is to watch these to better understand. Now we have other training, but this is a really good introduction. All right, so other questions. So Katori was asking about titles. So don't get caught up with the different titles, affiliate versus branch versus financial literacy educator. Ignore all that. Just everything's been rolled into one. It's called distribution partners. Here's where you enroll if you've not. If you have, start with watching these 3, and then we'll make sure that we're working with you and supporting you and providing you editable versions. So again, this for Latoya and everyone else, I really like using this document to explain what we do to prospects. I would recommend that you do as well. And you can have an editable version, so you put your call to action here in the bottom. All right, Marilyn's asking about the quick cash. So let's go ahead and bring this up and let's see if we can make that bigger. So she's asking about the quick cash, which is here, the free 10,000 transfer. So it's in phase 3, free 10,000 transfer, which correlates to this bullet here. So quick cash is something that can be acquired separately, but it's also included for free within the startup program. The purpose of that is to put assets on the client's balance sheet. So the 10,000 transfer are receivables, and then we can help liquidate those receivables and turn it into cash. I don't know if that's the answer you're looking for, Marilyn, but that's great. Latoya was confused at first, so she was asking questions like, "Well, do I have to pay this 10,000 back?" No, it's not. It's not a loan. It doesn't have to be paid back. There's no interest rate. It's yours. All right. So, are there any other questions any of you have before we wrap it up today? The goal is for each of you to enroll a client today. If you have that mindset, you'll probably be very successful. Let's go out and let's enroll a client today. Why would we want to do that? Because that helps them become fundable, and that makes money for you. You will make on average 25 to 26,000, and that was back here on this. So total projected income per client, and I know I'm just showing you a screenshot, but you can go watch the entire training here, right? But the bottom line is your expected income is $26,738 each time you enroll a client. So Well, the client is getting funding, which is great. That's what we want to do. We want to help solve people's problems. We're helping you add income. I know many of you are successful, and an extra $26,000 a day maybe doesn't seem like a big deal, but we're talking about a side gig here, right? Where you literally could project to make, as you can see on this training, an extra, well, let's just round it off and call it $25,000 each time you refer a client in. One of the things that Latoya really liked when she enrolled is that she didn't have to do the work. Our staff does all of the implementation with the client. So you bring the clients on, we do all the implementation. All right, Marilyn's talking about the enrollment fee. So is there a cost for us to help create a fundable business? Yes, but you determine that. As a distribution partner, you're determining how much the client pays. The client's costs are normally divided into whatever they pay at the time of enrollment, which is often $2,500 paid to you, or you could just do the $500 down and finance rest, and that's what is based here in the assumptions. And then secondly, you're paid, back here, you're also paid then each time they get funding. So they get their first tranche and you get paid a performance fee. They get their full business funding, you get a performance fee. But you, as the distribution partner, determine what the performance fee is. Most of you are going with between 10 to 20%, but it's up to you. But that formulates, and you can see the assumption that we made in this training that your performance fee is 19.99%. But I think what's important, let's go back to this, is some people will say, well, why should I pay to get funding? That's a scam. I shouldn't pay to get funding. I would agree with that. If you already have a fundable business, go down to the bank. You don't need us. But if you don't have a fundable business, we can help with no risk, guaranteed results. See, that's the difference, right? That's the difference. Do you need help becoming fundable? Do you need us to help you with the recipe and the ingredients? If so, then that's great. Then enroll. No, 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 no. I don't want to pay anything. I just want the lump of money. Then great. You don't need us, prospect. Go to the bank now and just get your money, right? If you're already qualified, you're already fundable, you don't need us. That's not who you and I are here to help. You and I are here to help imperfect people, imperfect businesses. So that's the difference. If they think, hey, why am I paying for upfront for funding? Then they misunderstand it. No, if you qualify, so we talk about pre-qualification. Johnny's great at this. What are the two things that you want to do to pre-qualify a client? Ask them, number one, do you need business to start or grow? I'm sorry, do you need money to start or grow a business? Do you need money to start or grow a business? Yes or no? If the answer is no, then hey, great, have a nice day, see you later. If it's yes, then move on to question two. Question two is, do you have a fundable business? And if they say yes, then they don't need you. They don't need me. They don't need the program. They should just go down to the bank and get their money because they're already fundable. But the truth is, most small business owners don't know what it means to become fundable, and they're not fundable. So they need the recipe and they need the ingredients. They just want their fucking lasagna, right? Just give me the fucking lasagna. Well, do you have the ingredients? Do you have the recipe? No. Then you've got a problem. We can do that for you, right? So we're kind of like that restaurant. If they want to go do it on their own, fine. We're showing them how to do it. If they want to take this information and go do it on their own, that's fine. It doesn't hurt our feelings. But most people don't want to do that. So, or they don't know how to do that. They don't know how to make the lasagna. Well, fine. We will make the lasagna for you. So hopefully that helps. Understand, people want the end result. They want the funding, but they don't have a fundable business. And that's what you and I do, is we have the recipe and the ingredients. The recipe and the ingredients to become fundable. And if you can describe it that way, people will enroll. If you don't describe it that way, all they're thinking is, man, you're just trying to charge me to get funding. That's a ripoff. That's a scam. If they are already fundable, they don't need you. They don't need me. They should just go to the bank right now and encourage it. Hey, why don't you go down to JP Morgan Chase, set an appointment, apply for your funding. If you don't get approved, then come back to us. Then we can help you. Because what we do is we work with imperfect people. We work with imperfect businesses, following this recipe and providing the ingredients. All right. Well, if you need anything else, let us know. We'll be here all day, and missed you the first part of this week. We were traveling, but back in the office, back in the saddle. Talk to you all soon. Bye-bye.